So you want to move to the Philippines? Make sure you don't move to this part. Not this part. You get what I'm saying. Let's get right into it.
Welcome to the Philippines, have a look around.
Philippines is a beautiful place. 7,640 islands to be exact. And only 2,000 of those islands are inhabited. Since I've been here, I lived in Manila. Also now I live in Calapan. But while I was living in these places, I traveled all over the Philippines, but not everywhere. Of course, I've probably been to 20 to 30 different islands, but there is 7,640, so I got a long way to go. Guys, there's some places I wouldn't move to. There's some places I won't live at. I mean, you have to think about all the places I've been. Of course, I've been all over Manila. I've been to Bacolod. I've been to Boracay. I've been to Palawan. Of course, I've been over here by Calapan, Puerto Galera. I've been to tons of places, and I'm sure you can see those videos now. And I've seen all the beautiful smiling faces of the Filipino people. People want to know who you are. That's why you guys want to come. Also, you guys want to come for the ladies. The ladies are here, okay? I can't go for the ladies, but they are here though. But guys, the thing is, in the Philippines, there's so many good things, so many places you want to be, but one thing you have to do is you have to know before you go, meaning you have to know what areas you're going to be in. You have to know, I believe everyone should know actually what area you're going to live in, so you're not surprised, okay? Because like when I came out here, when I first came to the Philippines, I was in Manila, and then I lived in one of the most crime-ridden areas. I was in the worst place to be in the Philippines at that time. I was safe, you know, because I don't know, I guess because I wasn't scared, and a lot of you guys may be the same way too. But a lot of you may not be aware of where you're living. Where I was living was a crime-ridden area at the time. You know, it was a lot of guys riding in tandem, and a lot of you probably wouldn't have wanted to stay there, you know, but I was there. I loved the people. People were still good people in that area. The thing is, you want to know before you go, meaning you want to research the area you're moving to make sure the crime is not too much. Also, you may want to go to that area and investigate. But guys, before you move to the Philippines, you definitely should investigate. Let's get into that. There is a reason for travel advisories. Travel advisories are to keep Americans safe. So that's like, say for instance, you're going to Africa, right? Then you can find yourself somewhere in the African jungle, faced with terrorism, faced with kidnappers, faced with a bunch of different things because you didn't look at the travel advisory. Of course, a lot of people may not go to anywhere in Afghanistan, of course, and just go there. The travel advisory is meant to keep you safe. And yes, the Philippines is a paradise, but there are some areas that you absolutely do not want to travel to. So when we get right into that, let's read this one now. It says, do not travel to the Philippines due to the vid. Of course, the vid is happening, but that's not important. So it says, additionally, exercise increased caution due to crime, terrorism, civil unrest, and kidnapping. Read the entire travel advisory.
Hang on, let me read the whole thing.
Do not travel to the Sulu archipelago, including the southern Sulu Sea, due to crime, terrorism, civil unrest, and kidnapping. Dangerous waters, maritime crime in the Sulu Sea. Despite the vid and a number of security initiatives, piracy, kidnapping, and terrorist movements continue in the Sulu Sea. July 1st, 2020. So this recently just happened, and it's probably still happening. See guys, this is in July 2020. Not recently, like it didn't happen, of course, this year, but that's not too far. You know, when the pandemic was starting, these crimes were still happening. So this is something serious. you definitely need to pay attention. When an Asian maritime crime monitor recently announced that piracy in the Malacca Strait had increased in May, experts joked that economic sector had fully reopened in reference to the global shutdown in light of the coronavirus pandemic and presents steps toward reopening. In fact, during the pandemic, piracy never ceased in the vital waterway. Neither did it stop in the Sulu Sea, a body of water northeast of Borneo shared by Malaysia and the Philippines. The Sulu Sea has always been a hotspot for kidnapping and ship hijacking. It is said that such acts and their many variants by different actors occurred as early as the 16th century against the Spanish during the colonization of the Philippines. Because of the long-running war between the Moro people in Spain and subsequent conflicts in the same space, piracy in the Sulu Sea and its surrounding areas went unsuppressed until the 20th century. So this is happening in the Sulu Sea area. Of course, people traveling to the Philippines aren't traveling to go to the Sulu Sea area, but let's keep reading. The Sulu Archipelago and Sulu Sea do not travel. Terrorists and armed groups continue to conduct kidnappings on land and at sea for ransom, bombings, and other attacks targeting U.S. citizens, foreigners, civilians, local government institutions, and security forces. The U.S. government has limited ability to provide emergency services to U.S. citizens in the Sulu Archipelago and Sulu Sea, and U.S. government employees must obtain special authorization to travel to those areas. Now, everybody knows about the siege of Marawi City in 2017. That actually happened when I was here in the Philippines, so these things are not so recent, but still, I still wouldn't travel out there and not know anyone, or even not just know anyone, not have an idea of the community. Meaning, if I was out in Mindanao, like there's a bunch of people that have traveled here before, have went to Mindanao, and they have family out there. They even know maybe a Filipino they talked to while they were here. If it's like that, you know what? Then at that point, go out there, take that chance. There's also even other vloggers that go there. I will even go there one day myself. But if you don't know anyone in the area, or you're not familiar with the area, I don't suggest coming to the Philippines just saying, oh, I'm adventurous, I'm gonna go to Mindanao.
Don't be stupid.
Travel advisory says civilians are at risk of death or injury due to conflict between remnants of terrorist groups and Philippine security forces in Marawi. The U.S. government has limited ability to provide emergency service to U.S. citizens in Mindanao, as U.S. government employees must obtain special authorization to travel there. And then also for Mindanao, it just says reconsider travel. And it shows here the Philippine government maintains a state of emergency and greater police presence in the Cotabato city area, in the Maguindanao, North Cotabato, and Sultan Kudarat provinces. Terrorists and armed groups continue to conduct kidnappings, bombings, and other attacks targeting U.S. citizens, foreigners, civilians, local government institutions, and security forces. The U.S. government has limited ability to provide emergency services to U.S. citizens in Mindanao, as U.S. government employees must obtain special authorization to travel there. You definitely want to make sure you look this up before you travel here. Guys, I'm not saying this so you can be worried in an absolute fear.
You guys, I am so scared right now.
I'm just saying, know before you go and look at travel advisories. And of course, you don't want to just go into walk through Mindanao and walk through Marawi City. I mean, you don't know what you're going into. Also, the Sulu Archipelago area in the Sulu Sea, of course not. Why would you be there, right? Guys, you definitely want to make sure you stay on top of it and be prepared. Because you don't want to be in the Philippines, and then while you're here in the Philippines, you're wrapped in fear the entire time because you're somewhere and you don't know, you'll be hearing gunshots. Because that happened with me back in 2016, 2015. I moved to Pasay, and Pasay, over there by that part of Manila, was like one of the worst places to be at that time. Because I was at the part of Pasay that was right by, going close to over there by Tondo. So, you hear gunshots at night. I wasn't wrapped in fear, but somebody else may have been wrapped in fear, And like I would go outside and go get me a beer in the middle of the night, sometimes 3 in the morning. I shouldn't have been out at that time, of course. But, you hear boom, 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 and so a lot of people, they wouldn't like that. But the thing is, I gotta tell you this, okay, and this is for the Filipinos too, and it's true, because Filipinos will say, hey, it's worse in other parts of the world. And it is worse. It's actually, right now, it's probably worse in western parts of the world. I know where I'm from, New York alone, there's different things happening every day. It's crime-ridden. You know, with the pandemic, when it came in, people lost jobs, and now people have subjected themselves to robbing and killing, and you know, with the gang violence right now in New York and all over the world, you know, it's crazy everywhere. So really, you do want to research to make sure, because you want to come here to live in paradise. So you want to make sure you're living somewhere that's going to be safe for you, and you won't have to be wrapped in fear. But still, at the same time, it's worse, most likely, where you're from right now. So coming here is going to be a breeze. I'm saying this, I'm giving that warning as well, saying not to be overly paranoid when you come here. But you may want to research, because you know, you don't want to come to a situation where you're going to Marawi, or you're going to a part of Mindanao where foreigners get kidnapped, or foreigners have been kidnapped in the past. It still could happen nowadays. You may not want to put yourself from that. But if you do know people in that area, and you're aware you've been here before, and you know people in that area or that location, then at that time, you know, you feel safe. I think it's a smart decision if you know people. But if you don't, look at those warnings out there. Look at travel advisories. Maybe even speak to Filipinos in online forums. Okay, there's Filipinos in online forums to speak to that won't even be looking for any money. So do that, guys. Always one thing to do. Always, this is my slogan, and it's a famous slogan. It's something people use. Make sure you know before you go. Also, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also, support the movement. If you like my content, be sure to buy me a coffee, guys, at buymeacoffee.com/JTBF. Okay, I'm not rich. I'm still a poor man. Okay, I'm still poor. So be sure to support me. Support the movement, guys. You like me? Spare me a piece of bread. I'm joking, but anyway, see you guys next time. Peace out.